On this episode of Inside the Blueprint, we'll learn about a Chicago-based HVAC refrigeration company capable of engineering, designing, installing, servicing, and repairing any type of heating, cooling, refrigeration, and mechanical system. Cooling and heating equipment play a vital role in the commercial and industrial marketplace for a variety of reasons. However, refrigeration, especially for food, drugs, process and testing equipment, has become an essential part of everyday operations of businesses. Since 1933, Cooling Equipment Service Inc. has been providing quality design, installation, consulting, and maintenance services all over the USA. Let's go inside the blueprint and learn more.
We specialize a lot in refrigeration. We do heating, we do air conditioning, but our main thing is refrigeration for specialized applications. As we work in the drug industry, we've learned that they have certain regulations that are very tough with the government. They try to keep a certain temperature and keep it in a certain range, but with drugs, if they go out of that range more than 30 minutes, a lot of the stuff has to be quarantined. So they have to maintain that temperature and they have to document it. Food industry, everybody wants better controls. And when we do processes or labs and stuff, they want things to be right on. They want everything just right where we're claiming the temperature is supposed to be and stuff, and they want it all documented. It's interesting over the years with the changes. I remember when we had the R12s, the 502 gases, and then you tell people things are changing. And in our industry, a lot of changes are happening very fast. And because some of the customers have been through it, they're accepting it, but at the same time, they don't necessarily believe you all the time. So right now, because of the experience of going through that all these years of what's been happening, we now become more vocal with our customers and saying, you got to look at this and the reasons why, because of the cost, the return on investments, and overall, I have to honestly say, many of the customers have responded very well. There's a few that don't, but a lot of them are getting it that something has to change. Our first CO2 system we were supposed to put in approximately 5 years ago, and then it got delayed for about 2 years, which I'm happy it got delayed for 2 years because the technology between that 2 years from how you would have put it in then and how you would have put it in when we put it in changed. A lot of the manufacturers we talk to, they're still learning too how to deal with this CO2. But the thing is, what we've learned, the more we use the CO2 versus the new refrigerant gases and stuff that's out there, it's works like a Swiss watch if you do it right. It blows my mind how well these things run in today's environment and with the hot weather we're having. So I encourage people our customers to really look at it, because in the long run, they're gonna win. It's just unbelievable how smooth and reliable these systems run. Now, I know a lot of companies have had problems with startups at CO2 and lose a lot of compressors. As a company, we at Cooling Equipment, we have not had that problem. We have been very successful with the CO2, and it just keeps impressing us every time we put one in.
One of the biggest benefits of working with Cooling Equipment Service is that there's no task or challenge that we aren't willing to accept. So one of my jobs is helping investigate what the customer's needs are, and we try to apply that to a type of equipment or a type of control system or both to then integrate them with what they need and accomplish their goal. Cooling Equipment started looking into natural refrigerants in around 2017 as laws were approaching that were going to outlaw certain refrigerants and look to more eco-friendly solutions. Cooling Equipment sees the control systems as an integral part of the process, not only for the efficiency of the equipment, but to gather data for our techs, as well as for the customer, depending on what agency may be looking for data logging or data processing, whether that's FDA, USDA. The faster we can get them the information, the faster they can provide the answers, the less trouble it is for them.
CO2 refrigeration systems have gained in popularity due to their efficiency and performance. And in the last several years, it's become one of the ways to meet the global warming potential rating for the USA, Europe, and Canada.
CO2 is starting to evolve to where it's going to be used for all refrigeration and processes. Pretty much every type of application you need in refrigeration, air conditioning, any kind of process, it can be used. Right now it's more from a certain size and up, But it's starting to get to the point where it's going to become more economical, lower and lower down with horsepower and stuff like that. So it's knocking on the door. And the key point is that long term, and the way it operates and all that, people are going to have longer life. It's going to be less repairs, because when you're talking a 2.5 to 1 compression ratio running on those compressors versus running at a 15 to 1 compression ratio and all that, those compressors and everything's going to last a lot longer.
Bitzer US actually manufactures a large range of products for customers. This can be a CO2, propane, HFC. We manufacture the piston compressors, screw compressors, receivers, pressure vessels. We also manufacture a line of controls known as the IQ module. We provide low sound, high efficiency, long life products. We know that customers demand this, and that is our strive to hit that mark for them. The compressor has inherent compressor protection for itself and also for the consumer. The next level generation of IQ module takes that another step, where the consumer and or the maintenance company taking care of the equipment can look at it remotely and see whether or not the compressor is running in a healthy operating envelope, or whether or not there is a need for somebody to come in and pay attention to the system. The compressor is actually designed to not only UL and other standards to be a very safe operating vessel. It has inherent relief and also electrical characteristics to make sure that the compressor, if there is a failure mode in the system, that it shuts down and protects itself and also the equipment. The Bitzer compressor is actually very, very easy to operate. It is made for bolt-on components, and it is also made for serviceability. The serviceman, if he's in the field and has a minor issue that may need a repair, there are 5 to 6, 7 areas on the compressor where you can do a field repair and be back up and running very shortly.
Gutner manufactures high-quality heat exchangers that are used in a variety of industries. Through the many applications and industries that we serve, Gutner touches the lives of millions on a daily basis. When you purchase a Gutner piece of equipment, you can rest assured that it will perform as we say it's going to perform. We design our heat exchangers to be the most energy efficient as they possibly can be, as well as using the least amount of resources as possible. Our HydroBlue adiabatic technology, with its intelligent controls, we reduce water consumption. It is of utmost importance that our units perform as we say they're going to perform. We work on many mission-critical type applications where you need to maintain temperatures and conditions. They're easy to maintain, and they are very reliable and robust. At Gutner, we fully believe in the power of natural refrigerants such as CO2, ammonia, propane, hydrocarbons, water, air, provide viable alternatives to synthetic refrigerants.
I've been working on the adoption of a transcritical CO2 refrigeration system since 2017. Our transcritical CO2 products are mechanical refrigeration units that provide the refrigeration and cooling for cold storage, supermarkets, arenas, and data centers. Our systems are eco-friendly because they use natural refrigerants. Carbon dioxide has a global warming potential of 1, which means it doesn't contribute to greenhouse gases or global warming.
We work alongside Cooling Equipment Service by providing them industrial refrigeration skids to meet their customers' needs. We engineer, manufacture, and design industrial refrigeration systems using low global warming potential refrigerants with high efficiency. The system we designed for Cooling Equipment Service was for a 200,000 square foot cold storage facility that had challenges such as high and low ambient conditions and high and low load profiles. BUDSR uses R290 or propane gas as a refrigerant when we need to use a low global warming potential refrigerant, which is 4 for propane, in an industrial application from temperatures of -40 up to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. The Freon changes today in the world are all surrounded by global warming potential. As the thresholds become lower and lower, the manufacturers have to develop new refrigerants to meet that specification. These new refrigerants now come with higher glides or other challenges that don't make for an efficient system. Natural refrigerant systems can overcome that challenge without using Freon. I believe propane is the way to move forward in refrigeration systems based on high efficiency, low GWP, and wide temperature range for every application.
In the 30 years that I've been purchasing cooling and refrigeration equipment, hands down, the best experience that we've had was with Cooling Equipment Service. Not only are they professional, they delivered an on-time solution for us. The job that Cooling Equipment Service did for us was that they built a tandem reefer unit and freezer unit for our storage and distribution warehouse. The reasoning behind switching to the unit that Cooling Equipment Service sold us was that it was the latest and greatest in technology, and it'll be an end-all solution for at least the next 20 years. The team members at Cooling Equipment Service, Mike and Shane, were exceptional to deal with. Any questions that we had, any emails that we had, they were always answered on time, professionally. They worked hand in hand with our general contractors and delivered a quality product.
Overall, CO2 refrigeration systems represent a forward-thinking solution that balances efficiency, sustainability, and regulatory compliance, making them an attractive choice for modern refrigeration needs.
The impact to our customers is actually it's going to cost them more money up front to go CO2. There are systems where you can go cheaper, but they're going to have more problems because you're going to run with higher pressures. You're going to have other issues to deal with. So we highly recommend everybody design for transcritical so that it basically, you spend the money up front, you'll have less problems in the long run. So the problem is if you do it cheap, you're going to have a lot of relief valves popping, and they call it burping, or they goes to the atmosphere, and the answers from the manufacturers to us is like, well, it's not hurting anything. But here's the problem. If you keep burping and you don't have a generator to keep the gas cool in the hot weather when you're off and things like that, guess what happens on Christmas Day or on a holiday when you can't run your refrigeration? Now we're scrambling to get you back up and running. So you want to build this thing all transcritical, stainless steel piping, all welded. So this way it could be 100, it could be 110 degrees, 120 degrees, the system could be off. You're not losing any gas. So that's huge to a customer when they get power. If they've lost it, turn it on, it runs. Versus, oh, now we got to get gas, we got to do this, we got to do that. None of that you have to do if you do it right. And that's huge to a lot of customers that can't be done. So basically with transcritical CO2, the way we do everything basically with stainless steel tube or pipe. You just are not going to have the problems that you have with everyday refrigeration. You're using better valves, you're using better components. So when you're using better products and better components, guess what? It costs you more money. So it's no different than somebody goes out, why do they go buy an expensive car versus a cheaper car? There's a reason for why people do that. Or people will buy better stuff for their homes and so forth like that. So a lot of refrigeration systems that go in are done very cheaply and very economical cost. But it's not economical at today's labor rates, the cost of Freon's materials and all that. So I'll give you one example. We use a German valve for the TXVs. That valve is probably $1,500 to $2,000. We can buy an American one for $500 or $600. Which one do you think is going to last longer and have less problems? I can tell you which one. And when the other one goes down, the problem is the cost to go repaired and all that. You get all your money back the first time you have a problem. So we like to use a lot of European equipment, materials, because they've been using it for way longer than we have and been very successful at it. So for the customer in the long run, they don't want headaches and they don't want to have repairs. And so that's where they're going to save in the long run.
The future of refrigeration and with Cooling Equipment Services progresses with the control systems and the integration of the new eco-friendly refrigerants to provide not only efficiency and savings to our customer, but data for them to provide any agencies that may be overseeing them, as well as a very useful tool for our techs in the field. That as a field manager, I'm able to relay data to them and areas to look so we can be more efficient in our repair and installation processes. It helps with the design of future projects. It helps with the process that the customer is trying to achieve, and also helps us provide future solutions, whether they want to upgrade their system or there's an addition or a new facility that they're looking to add. At Cooling Equipment, we offer maintenance agreements. Full coverage would be the first one that we cover. That would be the entire equipment or facility is covered. control components, refrigeration, ventilation, anything that might encompass, offering 365 days a year, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day service. We have a 24-hour hotline that the customer can call in and reach a tech live, and we can respond to their needs accordingly. We also offer quarterly maintenance agreements, monthly maintenance agreements, and yearly maintenance agreements where we may just inspect or help a customer out. And we also offer remote support for some of our national customers. One of the challenges that we have faced with the new eco-friendly refrigerants is the systems are a little bit more complicated, but we take the time to train our employees not only on the job as we're going through the startup process, but then following through with the customer for their warranty period so that our techs can get adjusted to higher pressures in the system, different types of control systems that we offer the customer, so that way we can respond in a timely manner. Cooling equipment provides full design and engineering capabilities to our customers. We offer full control systems. We have an in-house programming team, an engineering team. We offer construction insight to help with the entire build. We also have a sister company that actually builds insulated structures that we install our equipment inside. So between the two teams, we do a collaborative effort to achieve whatever needs and goals the customer has.
Plans for the future of this company look very bright. We're growing in leaps and bounds. Actually, if anything, we're having trouble keeping up with the growth. At the same time, we're having struggles with bringing up people to work on the stuff and learn it. Years ago, you could bring somebody on and probably train them in 3 years, on the other refrigeration equipment or the older stuff. Today, you're probably talking a 5 to 6 year investment in somebody to the point where they're going to be able to work on it, work with these controls. And the whole thing with these operations is basically are the controls. If the controls are doing what they're supposed to do, the system's going to work right. But the problem is if you don't have people who understand those controls and understand how the flow of things is supposed to work, you're not going to have a good system and you're not going to have good service. So that's the one thing we've done as a company. We've invested a lot of money. We keep training our people, but our growth is faster than what we can keep up. And we just see a future with CO2 and other areas just going to explode. And we're going to be part of that. Our goal was to be one of the best companies working on CO2. So we've invested a lot of money in the company, our employees, bringing up younger people to learn it. We're putting money into them understanding the controls, the welding part of the orbital welding. So we have a whole team that can go and do all this work. We've actually had other contractors reach out to us and ask us would we help them on projects or teach them some CO2 in other states, and we are doing that, and we're partnering up with them, and we're finding out that's turning into a great relationship for us. So to the point that we have relationships getting all around this whole United States, which is unbelievable, where everybody's working together. We are gonna be one of the top people in CO2, and we know that, and we're gonna keep working at it because that's the investment we have committed to our employees and to our customers. Really, you need to know what you're purchasing and what you are buying for your companies, because there's so many customers that we deal with when we meet with them and talk with them. They really have no idea what they're purchasing, they have no idea what they're investing in, and they don't know why. So we try to bring that to the table, explain to them, find out their needs, their wants, what is going to really solve their problems and their headaches. Because today in business, the problem is nobody wants headaches. There's too many of them today. And one thing that I found out, if you do it right, we all have less headaches. So if the customer has a headache with his refrigeration system, guess who's going to get the call? Now I get the headache. I don't want the headache. We want to put in a system that's going to be like a tank. I mean, nothing's perfect, but we want something that's going to be robust. And if customers will sit down and look at this and understand it and the future of it, they're going to be way ahead in the long run, and they have the time to run their businesses and not worry about all the baloney that goes along with it on the side, which they don't need. So one other thought, and the natural refrigerants, we talked about ammonia a little bit, not much on this. We talked about propane, which is another avenue of natural refrigerants, and CO2. CO2 has its applications, and CO2 is, if you're doing a big project, CO2 may not necessarily be the only answer for that customer. But as time goes on, the CO2 compressors are getting larger and larger and larger, and they're getting more popular. So eventually, CO2 will be doing bigger and bigger projects. So just like ammonia has and so forth. So, you know, you want to keep your minds open, because I'm telling you, the future is coming, and it's coming like a freight train. And if you think you're going to beat it, you're wrong. It's coming. So be prepared. And I'm just telling you, the CO2 works very, very well if it's done correctly.
For more information about Cooling Equipment Service Inc., visit their website, coolingequip.com. And of course, visit our website, insidetheblueprint.com. Starting a new company from scratch? There are several steps that must be taken in order to turn your new venture into a thriving business. Who can you turn to when you need help reaching customers outside of your network? Let's learn more from the experts at Darwinian Ventures.
The culture at Darwinian Ventures is all about performing at our very best. We're all about hitting our numbers, exceeding our numbers, and helping trigger growth for our clients. On top of that, we really love to have a good time while we're doing it, and I think that sort of feeds everything that we do. We focus on software and technology companies that sell to other businesses, so B2B SaaS companies, B2B software companies. We go deeper than just giving recommendations. We're actually doing the heavy lifting and generating sales and generating growth for our clients. So there's one client that we just took on called Spectrio, which is about 400 people total. They sell digital signage. So it was our job to help standardize things across the board and give each of the folks in each of the divisions an even playing ground so that they could really succeed. We always try to push people out of their comfort zone. We encourage them to look for new methods, look for new tools, look for new ways of doing things. And usually, you know, if you're smart about it, there's some amazing growth that can happen. So we do a number of things with an early client. The first thing is always an audit. So we'll go deep into their current systems, we'll learn what works for them, we'll learn what type of customers have been buying from them if they do have sales. And then what we do is we try to build a systematic framework around making that repeatable and then ultimately making it scalable.
Darwinian Ventures is unique in that they focus on the bigger picture, building systems and strategies to help you achieve your revenue goals.
Darwinian Ventures focuses on the big picture, the entire revenue ecosystem. So having that full visibility from lead all the way to closure and collections, contracting is really important. The three main problems I see with both early and late stage companies is with the tooling infrastructure, lead generation, and the deal closing process. You can't just focus on lead generation. Oftentimes what we see is that there are leads coming in, but where the failing point is actually on the closing process. We look at the entire customer journey from lead all the way to closing. Before we kick off any project, typically what we do is we'll go under NDA and we'll do a complimentary sales audit. And it sets us up to understand what we're stepping into. And it gives the clients a feel of how we operate and how we think about their big picture. To understand the full sales cycle, you have to break down your sales program into three main parts. You have your awareness, you have your consideration, you have your closing. What we typically do is we build every single stage of this funnel into the CRM and define really rigid goals for what the inputs are to get the outputs exiting that stage.
From planning to launch, your ability to go to market faster and more prepared just got sent into hyperdrive.
Here at Darwinian, we have four main offerings. We have a lead generation offering where you can fully outsource your lead gen to us. But we also have an advisory package. You can outsource your sales operations or revenue operations to us. And the last one we do is actually, it's called fully managed sales, where you can outsource the entire sales function to us.
So the reason that we're here this week is partly to train our team and partly just to do team building and work together from the same place. We're pretty unbiased when it comes to tools, but one of our most favorites is going to be HubSpot because we find that it has the ability to capture the sales process from end to end. The way that we set up this ecosystem of success is that we have weekly meetings with our clients, keeping the forecast really super tight and accurate.
Darwinian Ventures has come in and helped us look at all of the processes and tools that we've been using in our sales organization, and they are optimizing all of those tools, helping us find more efficient tools and state-of-the-art technology and methodologies to enhance our sales organization to enable us to grow at a much more rapid rate. I think there is so much value in having an independent person or party come in and take a look at your organization and the way you work. Darwinian has come in with no biases, an incredible work ethic. They stand behind what they say and what they prove, and they prove it out in the results. and they're a phenomenal group to work with. I would highly recommend working with them.
The one thing I would say to any business owner is adaptability and evolving is absolutely paramount. There's always a way forward and there's always a way to grow your business, and we'd love to be a part of it.
For more information about Darwinian Ventures, visit their website, darwinian.com. And of course, visit our website, insidetheblueprint.com. For more information about anything you've seen on today's show, or to become part of Inside the Blueprint, go to our website, insidetheblueprint.com.